Developing this morning, key Senate and House lawmakers may have reached an agreement to avoid another government shutdown. We'll bring you the latest. Plus, heavy rain brings flooding to parts of the state. Brandon will have the full forecast on how much more we could see today. And we look back at the one-year anniversary of catastrophic flooding in one eastern Kentucky county that led to a presidential disaster declaration.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 4:59 on Tuesday, February the 12th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning into Mountain News This Morning. Well, if you're heading out your door, it's almost a carbon copy of what we saw yesterday. Rain is falling on the region this morning as we are still in a severe weather alert day. Brandon, flooding is still an issue this morning and could progress all the way through the rest of the day. What are people going to need to know?
They need to know to be careful this morning because it's been heavy rain all night long, so there's probably ponding water on the roads. There's just some fog issues out there this morning, a very similar situation to yesterday morning, but again, more rain on the way. Some spots could see another inch of rain today. Let's take a look at the satellite and radar as that cold front continues to approach. We're still seeing a little bit of a break in the action this morning after seeing some heavy rain overnight. A heavier band of showers is back out toward Louisville this morning. We take a look and you see lots of flood advisories and flood warnings out to our west, and we're going to continue to see that rain progressively move to the east. Fog not as bad this morning as it was yesterday morning, but as that rain starts to move back in, you'll see the visibility issues increase. 5 miles in Harlan right now, 3 Middlesboro, and some 7s there showing up in Logan and Jacksboro. Temperatures very mild, 55 in Jackson, 50 in Hazard, 55 Prestonsburg, London, Somerset, 57 in Monticello, 44 up toward Ashland. So in between iced coffee and a normal day, because temperature's fairly mild this morning, your day planner will get to 60, but it'll be early in the day, and then temperatures will start to slide as that cold front comes through. I'll have the rest of the forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Will?
Alrighty, Brandon, we'll be back with you. Well, congressional staffers are working out the details, but negotiators say they have reached a tentative deal on border security to avoid another government shutdown Friday. CBS's Mark Liverman reports.
Reached an agreement in principle.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill say they've struck a deal to avert another partial government shutdown.
There's not a single one of us is going to get every single thing we want, but nobody does. But we're going to get what is best for the United States.
Congress has to pass a bill that President Trump will sign before a Friday night deadline.
Does the White House support this?
We think so. And we hadn't put all the particulars together yet, but we believe from our dealings with them and the latitude they've given us, they will support it.
Congressional aides say the bill contains about $1.3 billion for just 55 miles of border fencing, far less than the $5.7 billion the president has asked for.
But if we had proper border security, including a very powerful wall, we wouldn't have to work so hard.
As lawmakers were working, President Trump was holding a campaign-style rally in Texas.
If we didn't do that shutdown, we would not have been able to show this country, these politicians, the world, what the hell is happening with the border.
It's unclear if President Trump supports the deal.
Hard to even fathom. We're just now starting to get caught back up.
800,000 government workers are again facing the prospect of missing more paychecks.
In case this continues, what we've done is cut back on any extra things, going to the movies, eating out.
More details of the funding bill are expected to be released later today. Mark Liverman, CBS News.
Now, White House officials say they are waiting for the particulars before commenting. Well, in other political news this morning, Senator Rand Paul has filed an amendment to sell parts of the Daniel Boone National Forest. The amendment is attached to the National Resources Management Act. We don't know how much land could be sold. Senator Paul added a second amendment calling for access into Lake Cumberland to allow for docks, boat slips, and marinas. In a tweet late last night about his amendments, the senator said, quote, "The federal government has no business standing in the way of Kentuckians accessing their own natural resources, and I have been proud to lead the charge on their behalf." Turning to weather now in Louisville, the heavy rain has forced some businesses to close up shop until the water goes down. Along the Ohio River, restaurants like a River Road Barbecue and Captain's Quarters had trucks outside taking everything out. Others have canceled reservations this week. For Cunningham's Creekside, they are testing out new equipment to keep water damage to a minimum.
This year it shouldn't be too bad, so we're elevating what we can, moving what we need to, all the expensive equipment so that we don't have to replace everything.
Meanwhile, the Red River continues to rise in Powell County. County officials say they are keeping an eye on it. Emergency management crews tell us the river has risen much faster than they expected. That could threaten people in property in low-lying areas. They say some roads near the river will be water covered with the continuing rain. Officials say the Red River has risen more than 6 feet and could go even higher later today. Well, as rain fell on Monday, some were reminded of flooding across eastern Kentucky exactly 1 year ago yesterday. Homes, businesses, and roads were damaged. A presidential emergency was declared for some counties. Harlan County, as you see here, was one of the hardest hit areas where water washed into homes and onto roads. County officials say they cannot catch a break with the wet weather and are still repairing damage from last year's flooding.
The weather, obviously, between February and this February has complicated our ability to get as many things done as we wanted to have gotten done.
Judge Mosley says Harlan County is no stranger to flooding. Just last week, he had to declare a state of emergency for the county after a mudslide along Kentucky 72. And just a reminder, you can always find the latest weather conditions on the WYMT weather app. See live radar and zoom into your neighborhood. You can also learn about warnings and advisories in your area. You can find it on the Apple and Google Play stores. Well, new this morning, 2 teenagers in Bell County are facing charges after police found them with nearly $9,000 worth of meth. That happened yesterday in Middlesboro. Police say they had gotten tips that drugs were being sold and stored out of a storage unit. When they got there, they found and arrested 18-year-old Stephen King coming out of the unit. Inside, they found a car with more than 3 ounces of the substance inside. 19-year-old Dakota Owens was also arrested in connection with the case. Well, thank you for getting your day started with us right here on Mountain News this morning. Straight ahead, Hawaii is being battered by a winter storm, bringing high waves and even some snow for some.
No snow here, but plenty of rain. I'll tell you what, we might see an end to the mess coming up in a few minutes.